Today I will show you 4 ways to use sunflower seeds to get the maximum benefits from them. We will start with high protein energy balls, a creamy salad dressing, a banana breakfast smoothie and a full grain bowl with a savory sunflower seed mayo. I'm Shrikant Singh, a certified nutrition coach, and my goal is to make healthy eating feel like the easiest part of your day. Just one quick thing before we jump in. All the sunflower seeds we are using today are hulled, raw and unsalted. We will toast or soak these depending on the recipe. So the first recipe is the energy balls, and I'm starting with these because both the grown-ups and kids will love them. It's also really easy to make, there's no baking involved, and the whole thing comes together in just under 20 minutes. I'm making a small batch here, and the first thing is to toast around 1 cup of sunflower seeds on low heat for about 3 to 4 minutes. We do not want to brown them or use high heat because these seeds, they burn very easily, especially when roasting on a pan. If you are using an oven, then toast them for about 12 minutes in a preheated oven at around 150 to 160 degrees Celsius. This way you will get the crunch and you will also not degrade the healthy fats that these seeds contain. Now a lot of people will ask, will the seeds lose their benefits if you heat them? As long as you do it carefully at these lower temperatures, the nutrients will stay intact. Plus, toasted seeds, they also taste much better and they're easier to digest than the raw ones. So it's a win-win situation. Now we will grind these seeds, but first we will have to let them cool down. So spread them out on a plate to cool, and if you blend them while they're still warm, this is what will happen. They will release all their oils too fast, and instead of getting a nice powder, you will end up with a greasy clump. Once your sunflower seeds are cooled down, add them into the grinder along with a 1/4 cup of desiccated coconut and pulse them into a coarse gritty powder. Be careful not to over process it because you want to keep that texture and not turn it into a fine flour. Now, coconut here is completely optional. You can also use other nuts like pistachios or cashews, or just stick with sunflower seeds. Next, I'm going to prep the dates, and they're going to work both as a binder and the sweetener in this recipe, which means there is no need for any refined sugar or jaggery at all. These are Medjoul dates and they are very soft to work with. First, we will start by removing the seeds and the hard stem ends. Then, roughly chop these dates with a knife. Chopping them is actually a great way to double check if any seeds have escaped your attention, because if a stray seed ends up in your mix, it will ruin the entire dish and also your expensive blender jar. You might even have to cover for an expensive dental surgeon later. Blend these dates separately until they come together into a thick, sticky dough. So all the preparations are done. Now I'm going to take a mixing bowl and add the blended seeds and coconut along with the date paste we had just prepared. Optionally, you can also add 1 tablespoon of raw unsweetened cacao powder if you like it a little chocolatey. Mix everything well as thoroughly as possible so that you use the moisture in the date paste to the best extent possible. But from my experience, I can say that this won't be enough for the energy balls to hold. So I'm going to add cold pressed coconut oil somewhere between 1 and 2 tablespoons. And this will depend on how dry the seeds and the date mix is. So work with it with your hands and then squeeze a little bit of the mix in your palm. If it holds, then you're done, you're good to go further. But if it's crumbling apart, add a little more coconut oil. But don't add water or milk to make this stick together. That will affect the shelf life of these energy balls. The mix is going to look a bit crumbly even when it's ready. It's not going to feel like it's a dough that you make roti with. Now take about 2 tablespoons at a time and press it firmly between your palms and roll it into a ball. Then roll each one of them on a flat surface to smooth it out. For a kid-sized portion, use just 1 tablespoon and make a smaller ball. And if you want to finish them nicely, roll them through some cacao powder or desiccated coconut. This is optional, but it does make them look great. One thing I love about sunflower seeds is that they cost much less than something like cashews or pine nuts. Yet, nutritionally, they are just as dense. And if Medjoul dates feel expensive, which they are, or you just can't find them easily, smaller Arabian dates, they just work as well. But Arabian dates, they are smaller and a bit drier with flakier skin. So you might have to add a tiny amount of coconut oil or ghee during the blending process. This helps you get that same smooth fine paste needed to bind everything together. These energy balls are a total lifesaver. They are a perfect grab and go fuel that keeps you full without the sugar rush. And it will also keep you away from that awful vending machine. Now, to keep them at their best, store them in an airtight container, and even without refrigeration, it can last for a couple of days easily. Now, the next recipe completely changed how I looked at sunflower seeds. I was totally surprised at how easy it is to make a healthy salad dressing with these. For this recipe, the sunflower seeds need to be soaked instead of toasting. I soaked mine for about 2 hours in water. You can also soak them overnight, but rinse them 2 or 3 times before using because they can get a slight sour smell after a while. Soaking does 2 things. It breaks down the phytic acid so that your body can actually absorb the minerals like zinc and magnesium, and it makes the seed blend into a much smoother, creamier texture. To make this dressing, add the soaked and rinsed seeds to a blender jar, a total of around 6 tablespoons. And for some pungency, we will add 1 teaspoon of garlic. Add half a teaspoon of salt or as per your taste, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, and about 3 tablespoons of water. We will blend this into a nice thick paste first. You can always thin it out later depending on what you're putting it on. Once it's blended, taste it and then adjust the salt and lemon to wherever you like it. A pinch of black pepper or some chili flakes can also be added here as additional seasonings. Just in case you didn't know how powerful these sunflower seeds are, just 2 tablespoons of it will give you 50% of your daily vitamin E requirement. And sunflower seeds, they naturally contain fat. This dressing will actually help you absorb the nutrients from the salad better. I have kept this dressing on the thicker side intentionally because you can use this as a dip or as a salad dressing. For the salad itself, take a few sliced cucumbers, julienne carrots and some fresh greens that I have kept big so that you can chew on your food for longer. Add a few large cut tomatoes and drizzle the dressing on the top just before serving. And mix it with the rest of the salad as you eat. To get some crunch, you can also add a handful of toasted sunflower seeds to finish. This works perfectly for a light dinner and yet gives you the feeling of fullness and satiety like a proper meal. The dressing will stay fresh in the fridge for up to 3 days, but remember to shake it well before you use it. And this dressing works not just for salads, you can use it with cooked quinoa, millets, cooked beans. It works on almost everything. And if you love this dressing but worry about getting bored with the same flavors every week, I've actually solved that for you. I have put together a full ebook with over 40 unique nutrient-dense recipes that make salad feel like the main course. You can find the link right at the top of the description. Now, the next recipe is something that you will really enjoy, especially during warm summers. I'm making a simple banana smoothie here, but you can choose other fruits like mango that are in season. For this, I'm going to take ripe bananas and peel and dice them into small pieces. Add around 1 cup of these bananas to the blender jar. And to this, add 3 tablespoons of soaked sunflower seeds. Add 1 cup of water, and with just these 3 ingredients, you will get your smooth DIY sunflower banana milk. But please don't put it on your coffee. You can also use nut-based milk or oat milk instead of water. I personally don't combine dairy and fruit. It tends to cause bloating for me. Add half a tablespoon of honey to make it sweeter, but if you are on a weight loss journey, you can skip the honey completely. Add about half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Cinnamon here is not just for flavor, it also helps in slowing down how fast the sugar from the banana hits your bloodstream, so you don't get that spike and crash. Blend this into a nice thick smoothie. And if it's really hot outside, like it is here right now, you can pour this over ice to make it more refreshing. If you're having it for breakfast, you can also add your favorite muesli on top of it and then top it up with soaked chia seeds. It's simple, easy and friendly for people with lactose intolerance. Our last recipe is a smooth sunflower seed sauce that tastes just like mayo, but it is made with healthy ingredients. To make this, add about a 1/4 cup of soaked sunflower seeds to a small blender jar, and to this add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Add 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard and add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to make it more creamy. Finally, add about 1/3 cup of water and blend this into a smooth paste. Once the blending is done, I'm going to add honey as a final ingredient, about 2 teaspoons of it to balance the flavor. Blend it one more time and it's ready. Let me show you how I make a very filling and delicious lunch bowl. Here I'm adding some cooked quinoa to a bowl, and for veggies I'm adding some stir-fried broccoli that I had fried in olive oil lightly. This will get some crispiness to the broccoli and remove that rawness. For protein, add some fried tofu, which you can also replace with grilled chicken breasts or boiled eggs. Top this up with the sunflower seed sauce or the vegan mayo if you choose to call it that. Now this can also be your dinner bowl, but reduce the portion size by half to keep it light. For meal planners, this is one of the best ways to assemble pre-cooked items and to bind them together with a healthy sauce or dressing. And that's the shift I'm trying to convey through this video, to stop thinking of sunflower seeds as a garnish or as a snack and start thinking of them as a dressing, as a dessert, or a protein boost in your smoothies. In my next videos, I'm going to show how you can make different pestos with sunflower seeds, and they are quite interesting and easy to make. Let me know in the comments which recipe you're going to try first, and I will see you soon in the next video.